Oh, just a prop. Hello everyone, I'm Juan Rodrik and today we're introducing the Dynamite Pinup. Well, this one is actually, it's not real dynamite. It's a movie prop I made. I made it out of paper and sparkler and some acrylic paint that I also use for paintings that I do. So I do two things: I'm acting in action movies and all sorts of other things. I have done commercials and TV shows and reality show and music video and all sorts of film stuff like student movies. I like working with movie students as well. So, and much longer than I've been acting, I also have been painting. So these things fit together pretty fine. I like to craft stuff and I like to paint stuff. So my paintings are somewhat inspired by the movie stuff I do, and I have no idea how else I could come up with Dynamite Pinup like this one here. Like, I call this the Lady Dynamite, and I came up with it by something. Maybe it was music videos, maybe it was something I can't recall fully, but my subconscious has put it together. So doing these things is pretty fun, and most artists don't like to, or I don't know, don't have the statistic, but some artists are shy, and they're not performing publicly in something like in film and things like those. So I like doing two things, and it's been like this for quite a long time. And this artwork here, I have it on my screen, not on paper as I had earlier. And with this artwork, as all the artworks I make, I don't have one single defined meaning of the work that I say it means that. And the point of my art show that I do with my studio guests is also carried from that, where I do not tell any guest the meaning of the work or the title or anything. They choose an artwork in my studio according to their own liking, and they will tell the stories, and we discuss the stories, what they come up with by looking at my artwork. And they have picked all sorts of different artworks, and sometimes more than one guest picks the same painting, and it will come out to be a completely different story when one person sees the painting and the other person sees the painting. The idea of that show came up from my own art exhibitions. Whenever I made an art exhibition, there came up a guest there who I invited to the opening event or meeting event with me as the author of the paintings, and they told stories. Sometimes they shared their stories about my paintings, but they were all like lost, because at that time I didn't have a camera or something along to record these stories. But now I'm doing it on purpose to collect how the other people see my artworks, and I prefer to have anybody on my art show except other painters. That I won't take anybody else who's related to professionally related to fine art. I have one hobby artist have visited the show, but I figured I'll take somebody else to keep it to keep the show real, because one of the point is to create a relationship between art and average person. The average person in terms of anybody who is not the painter themselves. Like, well, musicians don't play for each other. They're playing for everybody. Like whoever is dancing. So that's also the similar point exists in visual art as well. I do not paint for other artists. I paint for everybody else, and it's very interesting to hear other people's visions about the paintings I have made, and sometimes they're telling or sharing interesting stories that sometimes match with something that I went through when I was painting the painting, and or that may be a subconscious component of inspiration behind it. But I have some components as well. Like, I have absolutely no idea what made up this painting specifically in my mind, but there may be a component of somewhat of the Terminator 3, the red suit, and I mixed it up with a music video that came out sometime later. Was Dynamite, and it's probably an action movie and the Dynamite video together to have components. And also I took up some nautical motives as a harbor scene. This when I was undergoing for my boating driver's license training at the time when I painted this painting in 2013. This is actually a small version of this painting. I have two paintings of this Lady Dynamite. Actually, I have more, but this is a small version of a bigger painting. Bigger painting is oil on plywood, but this is a printout that I retouched with brushes and paints later, as that's a later development of the same painting I made in 2013. Just to add to that some technical insight.